Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. My friends, Evo weekend has now officially begun, and we have our first news at Evo weekend. So to kick off the show here, we had a little bit of a developer panel here with the Guilty Gear Strive developers, answering some just questions and answers from the crowd, just kind of messing around a little bit, honestly. And, well, let's get to the concrete news first before anything else. They have given us a roadmap for the future of Guilty Gear Strive, starting, well, now in summer, going through to next year. So first thing, this summer, which there's not too many days left in summer, first off, just so you know, but we'll be getting our new character for Season 2, our first new Season 2 character, and who will that be? Could be Sin, could be someone else, we won't know, probably till Sunday when it gets announced. And yes, finally, we're getting those additional character colors that were promised to us quite some time ago. Also, PlayStation 5 getting its input delay reduced. So there's been a lot of hubbub about the PlayStation 5 specifically, input delay versus the other systems, and it will be reduced to that of the level of the PlayStation 4 Pro. And also Steam, specifically, reduced the connection time for the initial server connections, like, you know, the connection menu you see when it's all starting up. And they said it's going to be roughly about 30 or 40% more faster than it currently is. So that's our immediate future. And also coming up shortly is fall, and September specifically is when the crossplay beta test will begin. So unspecified amount of time how long it's going to be running for. More details, maybe this Sunday, right? And also, as soon as that's ready to go and they like how it's looking, they're just going to immediately push it through to the game. And then at that point, at some point, we will then get our second character of Season 2 of Guilty Gear Strive. Winter just says Battle Balance Patch, so I'm assuming it's going to be a major patch. Now, as for specifics, hey, who knows? But this doesn't preclude the fact there might be smaller changes along the way, so don't just assume that the only balance changes will be here, but this will be like a major style of balance patch. And on to the next year, we'll have 2 more characters, and we'll get 2 more stages at the very least. So details on that quite sparse, you know, as far in the future. But this is, well, the future of Guilty Gear Strive, and there's quite a bit going on. Now, besides that, that is the big news at this panel here, but there was just a lot of fun stuff there. One of the things I quite enjoyed is they showcased a lot of the early revisions of the characters before they reached their final Strive form, such as what you're seeing right here. Now, some of them locked in pretty early on, as you can tell. But, you know, some of them maybe not so much. You know, Chip looks a little bit different. Axel looks a little bit different. Apparently, one of the things they were struggling with early on is which look did they want Faust to have. And eventually, obviously, they settled on what we currently have. But the more traditional Doctor, like Exard classic look, was on the table for a little while anyways. Some of them as well, like, you know, a little less core values than you might expect, right? So that didn't survive to the modern day. Giovanna with like much longer hair, that's definitely quite different. One for me, as a fan of Gold Lewis, I found quite different is, well, Gold Lewis, right? This version, still very Americana, sure, but he has like a handlebar mustache instead of like the full beard he has. And I kind of dig this look too. It's a shame they don't do alternate costumes like they can in other games, because, you know, I'd spend $5 on that skin. And Testament, this is long before they decided to make Testament a playable character in the game, but this was an early revision of what they had in mind. One of the more pertinent things asked in the Q&A section is there a plan to add new special moves, overdrives, mechanics, all that to Guilty Gear Strive in the future? And the official answer is we can't answer that. So, not necessarily a timeline here, but if they can't officially answer that, well, that kind of reeks of a yes to me. Another really big one was asking about instant kills, so I want you to hear the crowd reaction on this one.
Is there a plan on adding instant kills to the game?
The answer from the developers is simply, hey, we tried, basically. They wanted to put instant kills in Strive out of the gate. However, basically, due to the production pipeline, there just wasn't the resources for it. Like, they wanted to, but it just didn't meet the reality of putting the game out, unfortunately. That said, they hear you guys, keep asking for it, and eventually maybe it could happen one day along the road. However, anything concrete, well, they can't really say anything about that at this time. As for classic stages returning, like say the Paris stage in older Guilty Gear games, would that ever be a thing? And it's also something they thought of. If they were to do it properly, though, they would want to basically evolve the stage along with the timeline of the game, right? Here's how the stage has changed as the world has changed in Guilty Gear. Asking about story stuff, you know, hey, can Dizzy and Jacko meet up and chat with Soul? Because the whole weird family tree stuff going on there. Well, Daisuke says specifically he has ideas for the future of a lot of the characters. Because right now, within the context of the story, after the main Strive story mode ended, everyone's in a bit of a downtime phase right now. No one's actively really fighting. He doesn't have anything committed to paper necessarily, but in his head and in his brain, he has ideas for the future of where the characters are currently going. And with that, there's not too much else. I'll leave you with some early concept art they want to show you here, like Dumpster Faust. Now, there is more news coming for Guilty Gear Strive later this weekend. That'll be specifically Sunday. Guilty Gear Strive is the game that is closing out EVO this year, so that's pretty prestigious, to say the least, and expect at some point during or after Top 8 to be some sort of announcements. Like, we have that roadmap there, and the roadmap says, hey, this summer we're getting our first DLC character of Season 2, and it's a very, very safe bet this is where that character will get announced. As for timeline coming out, it's more than likely sometime this month. It kind of has to be to hit the summer deadline, right? So maybe a couple days, maybe a week or two after EVO's done, we'll have the new colors, perhaps most important of all, new character, and input delay reduced on PlayStation is fantastic. And sometime next month, we'll have our crossplay beta, so that's fantastic. There will be a lot more news to cover over the course of this EVO weekend. And of course, check this channel. There's already a lot of great stuff going on. There's going to be a lot of indie showcase stuff. I'll probably do that in a bit of a wrap up after the main through line of EVO is over. They're doing fun stuff. Like, look at this. They got official Capcom versus SNK art to welcome EVO back, because it's been a few years. Now, for this specifically, maybe don't read too much into it, or you know what, actually, maybe read everything into it. I don't know. I'm not the boss of you, right? So you figure it out. But there's going to be a lot of good stuff, a lot of good times, a lot of good memories to be had. I'm just glad EVO is back. It's been years and years now, and it looks like it's coming back in the biggest possible way. So that's just truly and utterly fantastic. So keep checking the channel for all the news of EVO weekend, and of course, even more bleeding out after EVO's done. And whenever we get whatever that new Guilty Gear Strive character is going to be, naturally check the channel. I'll have combos, guides, information, this, that, and the other, all about the character. And until then, well, I guess I'll see you guys next video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Guilty Gear.